When you think of trees, you probably imagine peace, quiet shade, a gentle breeze through the leaves. You do not imagine a tree exploding like a rejected Hollywood prop. But here's the thing. Nature has a dark sense of humor. Under the right or wrong conditions, certain trees don't just burn or crack, they explode, loudly, violently, sometimes even throwing their own seeds like tiny green cannonballs. Today we're looking at 7 real trees that can genuinely explode. No clickbait, no movie magic, just science, sap, and a little bit of chaos. Number 1, the sandbox tree. Its scientific name is Hura crepitans, but its nicknames are way better. Dynamite tree, monkey no climb. This tropical tree, native to the Americas, grows fruit that looks like tiny pumpkins covered in spikes. When those fruits ripen, they dry out and pop. The explosion is loud enough to echo through the jungle, and the seeds inside shoot out at speeds up to 150 miles per hour. That's faster than a baseball pitch, and way more dangerous. Oh, and the trunk is covered in poisonous spines. So basically, the sandbox tree is nature's way of saying, don't touch me, don't stand near me, and definitely don't try to harvest my fruit. But at least it warns you. The next tree, not so much. Number 2, the eucalyptus, Australia's favorite flammable giant. Eucalyptus trees are beautiful, they smell nice, koalas love them, but these trees are basically living gas tanks. Their leaves and wood are soaked in highly flammable eucalyptus oil. In normal weather, that's fine, but during a bushfire, the heat vaporizes the oil. The vapor mixes with air inside and around the tree, and when it finds a spark, which in a firestorm is everywhere, the whole thing can go up in an explosive flash. This isn't just a slow burn. It's a rapid, violent ignition that can throw burning embers hundreds of meters away. So next time you smell that nice, medicinal eucalyptus scent, just remember you're smelling tree gasoline. Number 3, the maple. Yes, the same tree that gives you delicious syrup. But in winter, maples have a secret temper. Here's the science. Maple sap contains water. In extreme cold, that water freezes fast. As it freezes, it expands. Inside the narrow vessels of the tree trunk, that expansion creates enormous pressure. If the pressure gets too high, crack. The trunk splits open in a fraction of a second. Witnesses describe it as a loud, sharp bang, like a gunshot in the woods. This is called a frost crack, and maples are one of the most prone species. So while you're sipping maple syrup on your pancakes, somewhere out there, a maple tree might be snapping itself in half just because it got too cold. Dramatic? Absolutely. Explosive? Scientifically, yes. Number 4, pine, specifically a dry pine tree. Pine wood is full of resin. Resin is sticky, smells great, and burns like crazy. In a forest fire, that resin heats up, turns into flammable gas, and can ignite all at once. But here's where it gets really fun. Have you ever seen those viral videos of a dry Christmas tree catching fire? In about 3 seconds, the whole thing is a fireball. That's not just burning, that's explosive combustion. Firefighters call it rapid fire progression. The rest of us call it why you should water your Christmas tree. In the wild, a pine tree hit by lightning or surrounded by intense heat can literally burst into flames from the inside out. So yes, pine trees explode, and they do it with impressive speed. Number 5, aspen. The quiet quaking aspen. Aspens are famous for their beautiful white bark and leaves that tremble in the wind. They're also famous among fire scientists for doing something surprising during extreme wildfires. Aspen wood is not as oily as pine or eucalyptus, but it is porous. In the most intense fires, the kind that create their own weather, superheated gases can penetrate deep into the wood. If those gases ignite simultaneously inside the trunk, the tree can explode from the inside out. This doesn't happen in every fire, only in the most violent ones. But when it does happen, witnesses say it sounds like a bomb going off. So aspen groves are usually peaceful, unless Mother Nature is having a really bad day. Number 6, spruce. Spruce trees are the ones that look like classic Christmas trees, pointy, symmetrical, and full of flammable sap. But the explosive trick of spruce trees is less about the sap and more about their shape. Spruce trees keep their lower branches for a long time. Those branches act like ladders. In a ground fire, the flames climb those branches straight up into the canopy. Once the fire reaches the dense, sap-filled crown, the volatile compounds vaporize and ignite. The result is a sudden, explosive burst of flame that can jump from tree to tree in seconds. Fire scientists call this crown fire. Tree survivors call it the reason we don't build cabins near spruce forests. And unlike the aspen, spruce doesn't need a super rare fire, just a dry day and a spark. Number 7, birch. Birch trees have thin, papery bark. That bark is beautiful. It's also terrible at insulating against the cold. When winter temperatures plunge, the water inside a birch tree freezes quickly. Just like with maples, that freezing expands and creates pressure. But birch bark is weaker than maple wood. So the tree doesn't just crack, it can split open with a startling bang. This happens most often after an ice storm or a sudden deep freeze. The tree is fine one moment. The next, you hear a loud pop from the woods and a birch trunk is split from top to bottom. Birch bark is also famously flammable. People use it as fire starter. But the explosion we're talking about here is purely physical. No fire needed, just cold, water, and bad luck. So in a way, birch trees explode from pure frustration with winter. Relatable. So there you have it. 7 trees that can actually explode. From seed-launching dynamite trees to frost-cracked birches and fireball pines. Most trees are peaceful. Most will never explode in your lifetime. But a few special ones? They're just waiting for the right spark or the wrong cold snap to put on a very loud, very dangerous show. Thanks for watching. Stay curious, and maybe don't stand under the sandbox tree.